Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in again. It's been a while, but coming back strong here. I've got a special guest, Matt Blois, on, and Matt's just started his own YouTube channel, so go and check that out. And we're doing a few cross-channel videos. So Matt, we're doing this one today. Matt's had a couple previous posts on his that we've done, not just me, Tyler McGee as well.
Yeah.
So make sure to check across all channels to kind of get the full compilation of the videos that we're sharing now. Okay, so Matt, last session we were looking at takeaway, setup takeaway, and how that influences the way you move through backswing.
Yes.
Now we're going to move on to how that has how it could have such a positive influence on trying to speed up your rotations through the shot, so you have more control of the club face and get it coming from a bit better spot.
Gotcha.
Because the common tendency for Matt is to kind of get the club head coming a little bit from behind, so leading to some pushes and a few missed shots to
and also
the right for you.
I'll turn it over just in compensation and try to kind of hook it back on. I mean, using my hands a lot to try to time the face, which, as you know, is not consistent, is it?
Yeah, no, not at all. So typically when you see the double miss, there's something that you can look at in the body that's leading to the club kind of having to try and time things at impact.
Right.
So for Matt, we've kind of broke it down in the last few videos, what's going on with him. Today, we're going to get it right down and look at the transition and through the shot.
Sounds great.
Okay, so Matt, if we could just kind of recap a little bit of the takeaway, setup takeaway sequence from last time, and then just take us to top of backswing, or what feels like top of backswing is now.
Okay, so the main thing we did in the takeaway was I need to feel my hands a little bit more this way.
Yeah.
In my first kind of like club parallel position.
Yeah. And then even to go one more back here, even once more we reference just the elbow, just staying similar-ish height.
So a little bit.
So we can let that trail elbow just soften and sit down, fantastic. And then now move to the top from there. Beautiful. So Matt's issue in the past would be that the hand path would get so deep in backswing that it would actually push the trail elbow quite a bit behind him. So that in downswing, he'd have to slow down his rotations to match up his arms and get them back in front.
Gotcha.
So reference we did last time was that, say when lead arm is parallel to the ground, we're looking for the trail arm not to get too far behind the trail shoulder.
I was really more like this, I would say, in the beginning of our session.
Absolutely, yeah. That's
and then from there, I'm here. My body has to stop just so I can get the club back.
Absolutely. If I just go into the dynamics of, say, one of your previous swings there, what we're looking at here in the swing dynamics is you have a great order of transition: pelvis, ribcage, arm, hand, club. But then when I look at the accelerations are actually quite slow. So whenever I see that, it's about helping the player to create a scenario where the body's actually incentivized to rotate and get through.
Interesting. Rather than it needing to slow down to compensate for a poor position of something, arms or club shaft or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you just set up again and then go into backswing. Yeah. And then just kind of move to the top. Yeah. So we're a little bit more in front of there. One thing we're looking for now is in downswing for you to, so if you were to start your downswing now, we want that trail elbow to move in front of your trail hip.
This way.
That way, yes. And then from that way there, now if I was to stop in that point there and say, I want you to just push a little bit into my hand, almost down the line, I feel like you're ripping open through that rib cage there. Okay, and then so you see how almost like the force into my hand encouraged your rib cage to kind of get open there?
Yeah, very interesting.
So let's do that one more time. So setup looks great. Right back there, right elbow sitting down nicely there.
Good.
So now go up once again. Fantastic. So right elbow in front of the trail hip. That's it, good there. And then almost, let me have a look at that there. Yeah, do you feel like you got a lot of room there, Matt?
Absolutely, yeah, tons of room.
Yeah, and then just move through there. And so let's let you hit a couple there.
Sure.
I'm interested to see what you do there, because
definitely. That felt quite nice.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me at the first one you hit a little on the hosel.
Yeah, interesting, right?
Because, well, in the past, remember, going back to the previous session, how much you used to in the takeaway actually move off the ball.
Of
so now you're
course.
closer. So like everything's a little bit more there. So
Makes total sense. And I tend to be a toe striker with a lot of clubs, and that has to do with this motion.
moving
Getting
away,
from the
yeah.
ball.
So
Yeah, that felt nice. So feel once I get, so I'm here, I'm up.
Yeah.
As this comes here, more of this motion.
yeah, I'd actually like to see when you. So if you would go to the top, Matt, I'd actually like to see you almost like pushing your pelvis, if you could, up towards the top corner of the room there.
This one here.
Yep, but I'm able to do it without your head dropping back too much.
Okay.
So if you go to the top. Yep, now push your pelvis up there as much as you can without your head dropping back. How does that feel?
That's nice. I feel much more open to the target.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Nice.
Felt nicer. I tried to feel like what you were saying, this hip kind of moving.
Yeah, that getting up there. And then, yeah, once you're kind of in there and you got the room, you can actually just let that club almost
Let
like
the
just
club
go.
pass a bit more. Okay.
Yeah. Which I'm sure in the past, because of where you were coming from,
Yeah.
you would never want to feel like letting the club go.
No, because it'd be a disaster, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like now where you're coming from, you can actually let it go.
That felt really nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I know what you mean. I can even still feel, and I think it will take time to get used to, but I still feel a bit of like hanging onto the club face because I'm so used to doing it.
Yeah, I definitely want to work more on like that sequence through the shot. But I'm liking how you're getting your arms back in front. There we go.
That felt really good.
Yeah, that looked great.
Interesting. I also feel like I'm in a lot better balance than I normally am.
Nice.
That's really cool. Yeah, that feels really good.
Okay, so just to really summarize that, I'm going to let you kind of summarize it for me, what you felt like we did there in that process for you.
So obviously the last lesson we did, which I posted on my channel, I really liked this position here and got me in a better position, obviously, at address. What I'm feeling from there is this elbow is much more in line with the shoulder. And then I'm really feeling my left elbow in front of my body, in front of my left thigh. And as that's happening, I'm trying to feel that hip motion that you mentioned. And I know the head is maybe something I might have to work on a little bit later, just because I'm used to really dipping that head back to save shots, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that probably would have been...
Yes.
I mean, the head moving back, what that would do is it would help you to kind of get the club to kind of release and get back
Just
in
a
front.
little bit extra time, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I love asking, that's why I like to ask players how to summarize it themselves, so it means something more to them. It doesn't matter. If I summarize it,
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. Yeah, I think I have a fairly good grasp on it, and when I go to practice, like, what would you recommend the practice sessions look like? Would you do some, freezer work where I get into these spots and then kind of feel some swings? Would you do everything kind of in a 60% speed motion just to feel it and then do a few at full speed?
From a training standpoint, I like to call it train to like your pace of failure. So that's where the 3D is really good, because I can see when the movement sort of reverts back to the, say, we'll call it the old movement.
I understand, yeah.
So, for example, at first, like a player might be able to feel when they're making an improvement best at really slow pace.
Yeah.
Without even hitting the ball. And then just transition to, maybe I'll do it 10% pace and hit the ball.
Right.
And just build it up there. You might go through wedges first, 7-iron, 5-iron, work up to the driver. So it's just working towards that pace where you can actually make the improvement. And typically, the one area I see a lot of players go wrong is they'll be training at a pace where they can't even feel.
It's too quick, right?
Where they're doing, and sometimes it's hard to feel, and that's why we have the support of technology and everything like that.
Gotcha.
But you can always constantly, video yourself, check on it.
Yeah.
That's where you see the guys on tour. They'll make a swing, they'll check it. If that's kind of the process that works for them.
And I'd be curious to come back maybe in a few months and do this again after I've had a chance to work on it and see if those rates of rotation have sped up in the right ways and the sequencing has changed. It definitely makes sense. I'm glad that we touched on all the things that I can see on camera, the takeaway issues that look off to me, but it's always been very difficult for me to actually find the drills or the sequence kind of changes to make those things look different and actually function different. Yeah. So that's probably one of the first times I've really felt this proper relationship here. Yeah. The elbow is able to stay in front of it here and then actually allow me to rotate properly here because I've actually got the club in front of me. Yeah. All right. Well, pleased to hear. Good. That's good. Thanks, buddy. That was great. Okay, guys. Thanks for tuning in as always.
Remember to check out Matt's channel. It's got some really cool content out there already. And you'll be able to tie this together, and Talia's done some great work with Matt as well. So you'll enjoy that, I'm sure.